morning. How are you, mate?
Good, you?
Yeah, I'm okay. How's your week been?
Not too bad. I've been getting the steps in, so...
Have you?
I managed 18,000 one day, but I've been averaging over 10,000 steps a day a week, so...
You be careful. You're not getting any younger, you know that, don't you? Any niggles in the joints or anything?
Plenty.
Oh, you got a few niggles, have you?
I started walking and not running. I can't run at the moment.
You can't run?
No. Everything's hurting.
Brilliant, love it. So anyway, how's your week been? All right, how are you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's been okay. Lots of TV watching, and that's it really. A bit of walking, getting out. The weather's been brilliant, so I've been getting out, doing my hour or so walking a day.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I thought there was some really good comments last week about. Obviously, we talked about your dad. And there was a lot of people that came on and sort of said that they'd met him or seen him play table tennis over the years, and it was really quite nice to read some of the comments.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of early years, sort of 8, 9, 10, 11 upwards, I can remember travelling around all the Pontins camps. So literally every summer when I was off school, it was like 5, 6 camps a day, going around doing exhibitions, chatting to people. Just so people know, because obviously they're not all the people watching this for the UK. And your dad was he was a table tennis champion, wasn't he? So and then after his career of playing, he went and did some campsites, didn't he? Yeah, I mean he was British champion at 15. He's still the youngest British table tennis champion. I think they call it ping pong in America, maybe.
Ping pong, yeah.
So. And he was 5 times British champion. And once he sort of stopped playing competitively, to make some money, because it was all amateur, he went around doing all the local pontins and basically all around the country, doing exhibitions and talks and stuff like that. And he had a regular routine of during the summer, every single day we were somewhere different. And
he also, Ray Reardon was involved in that as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. A lot of the camps in those days when the professional, like all the top sports people sort of retired, they obviously didn't make enough money through competing and prize money and appearance fees like what a lot of the people would now. So they used to base themselves at camps, or they would do like a little circuit of doing exhibitions and get paid by like Ponting.
Right. So Ray Reardon is 6-time world snooker champion, and he was friendly with, or is friendly with Leicester's dad. They used to travel around on the Pontins camps together and do exhibition matches. And we know Ray obviously quite well because Ray was a member at our old golf club. So when we grew up, I mean, I've got a signed snooker cue that I won when Ray was captain of the golf club, and it was just great to get something from Ray for that. I mean, he's just such a nice guy, isn't he?
I mean, it's just a sort of an off story of Ray. He's sort of in his 80s now. I think he's 84, 85. Yeah. Probably 2-3 years ago, he used to give me snooker lessons, and I used to go down and like help him and help watch and stuff. And we had a game, and I broke off. He smashed all the balls up, and I made like 10 or something. And then he cleared the lot.
Cleared the table.
Break in his 80s. It was ridiculous. All I was doing was just walking around picking balls up, placing them back on the table. But he had 101 break.
Such a nice
80s.
guy.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
So good to watch. But yeah.
So what, have you got any questions? You got some questions for us?
Yeah. I mean, last week most of the questions were sort of directed towards me, so I thought we could direct a few back at you.
Right. Okay.
Find out a little bit more about you.
All right. So are these questions from you, or are these questions that people have sent in?
These are from people, really. I mean, like most of the stuff I'd ask you, you'd either get divorced or we'd get arrested, wouldn't we?
Right, let's hear it then. Let's hear.
Okay, so first question that we had was, why did you start playing golf?
Why did I start playing golf? Yeah. So I started playing golf because I used to play rugby. So I was a rugby from probably about 8 or 9 years old. Younger than that, 7 years old playing rugby. And I got my first set of golf clubs when I was 9 on my 9th birthday. As I got slightly older, I was still playing a lot of tennis and I was still playing a little bit of rugby. And it was my dad really that kind of pushed myself and my brother, kind of got us more into it as we got a bit older. But they were just a little bit nervous about me hurting myself playing rugby. Because I got to a level at rugby where I was like being, selected for county sort of stuff and things like that. So I used to play scrum half. And so I was getting, not niggles, but like, they were bigger guys and I wasn't overly massive, and I just get, especially playing. I always remember playing against Plymouth once, and we just got hammered, absolutely hammered. So that's kind of why I started playing more golf than I did rugby, really.
We were lucky, really, because we had quite supportive families, didn't we?
Yeah, we were direct. We could have gone any direction, really, with sport.
The group we were in, all of us are the same sort of similar age, like your brother, Adam Drake and Paul Joseph and Sam and all that lot. All our families would help each other.
But you think about how many pros came out of Churston, how many young lads that we grew up with at Churston that all turned pro. I think I worked out there was about 10 or 11 pros that came out of Churston about in our sort of era, which was great. So we were all helping each other along the way, weren't we?
Yeah, we had a great team at one time.
Yeah, we did. Very good. Yeah, very, very solid.
So next question.
Yeah.
So just following on from why you started playing golf. So what sort of influences did you have, or who influenced you to sort of turn professional? What was the sort of the light bulb moment? Well,
so growing up as a youngster, I was a massive fan of Greg Norman. Like, Greg Norman was my hero, as a young kid, and I used to wear the Greg Norman hat and all of those sorts of things. And
you've got to bring that out for a vlog.
It's my barbecue hat now. It's a beautiful hat. I still wear it. I mean, it's quite a few years old now, but definitely there's two people really in our era when we were coming up through. I remember, obviously, Tiger Woods. I just watched Tiger Woods playing all the time. Like, if I was ever watching, I would go to the TV to watch Tiger Woods play golf. Yeah. But the other one who was kind of my age group and our age group was Sergio.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, Sergio had won the British Boys Championship. And I played in the British Boys Championship about a year or so after him.
There's a great picture of him at Saunton.
Yeah, well, that's where he won it at Saunton. Yeah.
We'll have to get that picture.
But in Albert's office. There's a great one in Albert's office. But so Sergio, I always remember we had a net in the garden at home, and me and my brothers used to hit balls in the net. But Sergio, I remember practicing. Remember the loop, the drop. And I remember practicing that for hours, trying to get this Sergio loop, and everyone wanted to, we all had our he had Adidas t-shirts and the Titleist hat and the 975D and all these things. So certainly Sergio was one because I could relate maybe slightly more to him because he played in Britain and won the British Boys and things like that I wanted to be more like him. But Tiger was almost inaccessible because he was American and he was just on a different world, for us. But so those were the two people that really pushed me. Certainly when
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Both sort.
Same. It was just our era, wasn't it? It was our era. So so those were the two guys really that pushed me towards that direction of golf. Definitely.
Have you got any ambitions left as a player? I know you're obviously a retailer and a coach and massive YouTube star. But have you got any ambitions left as a player?
So there's last year I really enjoyed playing with my brother in that tournament that we both qualified for, and we finished third in the English inter-counties basically, and I loved that. That was absolutely fantastic. There's one event in locally that I really want to do well in, or really want to win, and I lost in a playoff one year, which is the Devon PGA 36-hole championships. I just want to win that. And to be fair, there's a part of me that still wants to try and qualify for the PGA Cup.
Yeah.
But I don't play. I don't play in the PGA Club Pro Champs ever.
So you're playing it. Next one you're
so
playing in there.
I'm going to have to go and qualify because my brother's obviously played in it, and I caddied for him playing it in America, and that just really was fantastic. And the level, the quality is superb. Absolutely superb. The players are so good. It's run by the same people that run the Ryder Cup, but it's for club pros in America and the UK, or UK and Ireland. And So yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to qualify for that.
Chris Gill played it, didn't
Gilly
he?
playing that. I think he maybe played twice. John Bevan, Mike Watson, all these guys that you know. There's some good players, and in America there's been some very, very good players that have played in it. So it's a great event to be involved in, definitely. I want to now move us on to a club, kind of like a bit of a club review, really. So I thought we could have a little chat about this one here, and it's the Cobra T-Rail. The Cobra T-Rail. It's basically, I want to ask the question is, do you think this is the future? It's probably our future.
Some of us are closer to it than others.
I'm looking at you, being as you're coming to 40 first.
I still carry a 2-iron in my bag. Okay? I've not got a hybrid in there.
Hey, we can all carry 2 irons, but we just can't hit them. So what so you went out and tested this at Torquay. I got you hitting some shots with it before we had the lockdown. But what did you think of it?
I was impressed, to be honest. I my thoughts on hybrids. I personally like to hit long irons. I like the look of a long iron. I still feel like I'm a reasonably decent ball striker, so I can still hit a 4-iron, a 3-iron, and a 2-iron. Yeah. But I was really impressed with it, and I can see the benefits of having clubs like the T-Rail in the higher end of the bag. Yeah. Replacing longer irons and maybe even sort of fairway woods. So you see the benefit of them maybe going up from 7, 6, 5-iron up to 4-iron and things like that. Is that where you see kind of the benefits of them? I would personally see it as a blend. So you blend in your original clubs and then maybe hitting in your longer irons, especially for people of a certain age. I just want to run you through a couple of the features on it, okay? So you've got the rails at the bottom, okay? Yeah. So what Cobra is saying here is that you're going to get more consistency with your, still managing to get decent turf interaction through really, really kind of tough lies. So if you're in a bad lie, you're still going to get some it's going to glide through some of the rough areas. Were you feeling any of that when you hit it? I only really hit it off a sort of a fairway lie. Yeah, so I didn't really get the benefits of trying it out of like heavy rough or even sort of semi, but I hit it off like a fairway or slightly longer fairway. Yeah. But I could definitely feel it cutting through the grass better than what a traditional iron would do, especially if you hit it slightly heavy. Yeah. It says that it's going to sort of, if you get in the rougher conditions, it's still going to maintain decent clubhead speed as you kind of come through, which in turn gives you a bit, gets more consistency in your striking performance. It's got that sort of forged face on it as well, which is what they're talking about. So the face side of it has got sort of that rippling effect. So any off-centered strikes, you're still going to get decent ball speed off of it. So you're getting your hybrid sort of hybrid consistency, aren't you, in forgiveness, rather than hitting a longer iron. Yeah, whereas if I hit my blade or you hit your irons, your CBs you've got, and you get them off the toe or off the heel, you feel it, don't you? Yeah, and you certainly start to lose some ball speed as you come through. Yeah. But they're saying with this that you're going to maintain that, and I can kind of see that. I can see that, and I hit a couple in the net earlier and got some numbers, and I hit 1 or 2 out the toe, which still maintained decent numbers, which was quite good. Yeah. It's also hollow construction, so saying maybe you're getting a little bit of flex in the face. Again, were you feeling any of that when you were hitting it? It certainly feels faster off the face, I would say, than my traditional irons I'm hitting at the moment. So, I definitely would say that there is something in that. Yeah, you're feeling a little bit of almost a bit of spring off the club face, aren't you, with it? Or it's quite a tinny sound, isn't it? It's not a solid sound. You definitely feel that, yeah. And then what about kind of like the launch on it as well? Like it's saying obviously by making it the way in which it's made it, so thicker in the sole, pushing the weight certainly lower and then further back in the actual head, it's saying that they're able to get that launch popping up off the face pretty quickly. I mean, would you say that? I mean, with the shift of the centre of gravity being, like you say, deeper and further back in the face, I definitely got a higher flight off it. Yeah. It was almost too high. Okay. Because you don't struggle, but you don't struggle with height, do you? No. I can, I do hit the ball reasonably high.
Yeah. So you're just seeing this maybe going over that edge a bit too much.
Yeah, I would say for me personally at the moment,
yeah,
it's too high. But
okay,
for people that hit the ball low, it's absolutely ideal and perfect for achieving a better flight.
Yeah.
And the slower swing speeds, but yeah, definitely 100%. Like if you struggle to get the ball in the air,
yeah,
that is the club for you.
This comes in, like, let's say the 7-iron, because that's what we've got as the test demo club that we have to fit people with, I suppose. But so 7-iron, 30 degrees in loft, which is not, I mean, for the clubs that we use currently, so your CB and my MB. Mine's at 35, yours is about 34, I believe, in your 7-iron. So we're looking that this is closer to our 6-iron in loft.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, if you think about the higher launch that they're getting with it, they need to control it somehow. So if they're launching it higher, they can't then put it at 35 or 34 degrees. It's just going to literally go through the roof, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by managing the face and pushing that loft off of it, it's just understanding that as a player. Yeah. And then being able to manage it. Now, so I just want to share with you my numbers that I got from this compared to my own 7-iron, okay? Now, ball speed-wise, 119 off the face with this one, so the Cobra 119. My 7-iron, 115. Now, remember, 35 degrees aloft compared to 30 degrees aloft. If we look at the loft differences, I'll move over here, you can see I got 32 degrees aloft with my 7-iron. And this one was delivering 28 degrees. So it's spot on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what we'd expect to see. And if you're taking loft off the club, we're going to see the ball speed go up a little bit, aren't we, from that?
Yeah.
Here's a good one for you. So my launch out of my 7-iron, 21 degrees.
Yeah.
The launch out of this T-Rail, 21 degrees.
Okay.
So it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
And bearing in mind there's a difference in loft in these clubs that we've seen in our deliveries, we're still getting the same pop off the face. So definitely what they're saying is happening, isn't it, from that?
Yeah.
And you saw that yourself when you were out on the golf course hitting a few balls.
Physically, I mean, I didn't get any numbers, but I could physically see
the difference.
In trajectory of flight, yeah, definitely.
My difference in height, and obviously I can't see a great deal in my little studio, but 36 yards high with my 7-iron compared to 38 yards high. So it's maintaining decent height, even though it's launching the same, it's going up quicker as well. And then my spin numbers, 7,000 spin with mine compared to 6.5 in this one. And I did get one in there at 7,000 spin with this.
That's good to be fair, because some of the alternatives and some of the earlier attempts at a club like this, the spin numbers have been so low that obviously the increase in distance, which is what people were looking for, but it was just coming out with no spin.
No, they're getting like big knuckleballs out of semi-rough, you're just getting massive flyers.
Which is not what you want for
No, absolutely right, absolutely right. I mean, and then yardage, 156 on an average compared to 164 on an average. So 156 with my iron compared to 164. So it's going a club further, isn't it? Half a club to a club further, which is, again, with the loft, it's what we would expect to see.
Yeah.
But it's maintaining, if I compared this to my 6-iron, yardage-wise similar. If I compare it to the spin, though, this is spinning just a fraction more than probably my 6-iron would. My 6-iron would be spinning about 6,000 revs, maybe 6.2. So this is holding its own, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a future in this.
What about the negative thing the negative point you made earlier when we were just chatting off the record about it? I think it's a valid point.
Well, one thing that really disappoints me with this is, I mean, we've got a set sent through to the shop, didn't we? And there's no head covers.
No.
So, I mean, we talked about head covers in the past, haven't we? But, you know, nobody wants to see a bag full of head covers. But I've just had a little bit of a clatter against another couple of clubs, just to sort of hit against it. And this paintwork here is already chipping. And that...
It looks impressive when you get a new club that looks like that.
Yeah.
But that is not staying like that, is it?
No. Well, already, I mean, you're not going to be able to see it too well on here, but there is a couple of... I've just hit a wedge against it, like a little chink, you know, as if it would be sat in a bag and chinking against each other in the bag. and there's already little tiny marks that are starting to come up, and I'd be interested to see how they perform over a season or a couple of seasons, because people don't change them that often. But you know, that would really annoy me. I don't like my clubs looking pretty clean anyway, but that would start to really annoy me.
So do you think like the next mark of that, or the next version of that particular club, may be like a stainless steel back rather than having that sort of finish?
Like I think this finish is beautiful. I think it's I'm looking down at it when I'm hitting golf shots, and because of the black right the way through, it almost takes my eyes away from any sort of chunky back or anything like that. And it certainly, because of the blend of it, so I think as soon as you start to change the colouring,
it might start to look chunkier.
It might start to look a bit chunkier. I think that stealth black is what is allowing it to stay pretty neutral in my eyes, to be honest with you. I could play these. I've thrown that out there. Like, I see me and you in 10 years' time playing these clubs. Like, I do. Not even 10. Not even 10. Not even 10 years. I see these as the future. I know that there's been some products made in the past, but I do like these. Do like them. So there you go. There's our little review of that club. Could you play them?
I don't see why I couldn't.
You would blend them though, wouldn't you? You'd blend them in.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly. I wouldn't want to see a wedge that chunky.
No.
Personally, but I mean,
if I had your irons, if I was Cobra playing your irons, I would definitely be asking Cobra to make me a 5-iron and a 4-iron or something like that in that, to blend in with, because it's all, yours are all black, aren't they? They're all stealthily mode, you know, and Laura's as well, stealth mode, you know, irons. I'd blend that in. It's stunning. I'd get it in a steel shaft, but I'd blend it through the bag, you know. Yeah, really would. So what have you got on for this week coming?
I'll just probably do a few more walks.
You take it easy on those joints, all right? I do get nervous about you. This is my happy time when I'm checking in with you on a Sunday morning.
I saw a little comment the other day asking who was fitter, so I'm up for like an Ironman challenge when this is all over.
We see
like who can lift the biggest weight, who can do the fastest 5k and stuff like that.
But that's the thing. I read that comment as well. And it did get me thinking. Like, I was like ticking in my mind, going, "But what does fitness like? What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? Like you might be able to sprint quicker. I might be able to do long distance longer. Like, how do you determine who's fitter? I don't know. It might be the amount of rounds of golf we play in one day to see who lasts."
You'll definitely win that. You play way more golf than me.
Apparently. So there you go. There's our little Sunday morning show. Thank you very much for tuning in. What do you think of the Cobra T-Rail? What do you think of this particular type of club, moving more into hybrids? Do you play them? Be really interested to see. Or do you play something that's maybe similar to this particular club? Put your comments down below. Let us know if you're using these or playing something similar to these. We'd like to hear what you have to say. Lester, I will catch up with you again soon. I'm not sure what the day holds, but I'm hoping to get into my hot tub soon.
Behave, right?
I will try to behave. I'll see you later.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.